by hardness and softness. So I'm gonna grab, so I have like a 9H. It's so light it doesn't even show up on your paper, to be honest, so I'm not gonna use that one. And 6H too, is these are just so light. There's a 5H. Oh, there's a 4H. 4H is good because you guys can still see it. I'm gonna grab my 4B. You want real drama, go up to a 6B. I might do that. And then you need a blending stump, which is these. How organized I am. I just folded my whole studio. And then we want one that's kind of in the middle, which again could be just like a school pencil. That's fine. Totally fine. I think we get a little sidetracked by like all the shiny art supplies, but really we need to get sidetracked by our skills. Oh my god, I can't find a stupid pencil. All right, so I just ran to my kitchen. See, even this is just a yellow school pencil, but even here in itty bitty, you can see that it says HB. So, you know, don't ever underestimate just like a regular pencil, guys. You can, however, underestimate good sharpener that's jammed. Jesus Louises, we are off to a slow start this morning as it's 2 in the afternoon. All right, let's get this party started. Holy Moses. All right, we're going back to basics, right? So we really want our oval. Back to basics. We're gonna talk shading today. We're talking eye proportions. We are doing it, you guys. So I'm doing an oval. I am moving my whole arm. My shoulder is what's rotating right now, not my wrist. Do knock this off right now. You wanna lock your elbow and you're moving. I guess you can't really lock it, but you know, you're moving from your elbow and your shoulder, guys. So this is how you get this big sweeping circle. So there is your oval. Bam. Okay, so this is going to be the same thing every week. We are going to start doing 3/4 portraits soon. So let's get this front face figured out so we can move on with our lives, okay? Right in the middle is going to be the eye line. Right down the center is our vertical. We're going to divide this space in half. So every time you do this, hence 100, we should get faster and it should be easier a little bit every time, hence the practice. Okay, let's start forming out the face. We can come in on a little bit here. We can come in a little bit here if you want to. Okay. Now you notice how light this line is and how dark this is. That's just pressure. You could do this whole exercise with one pencil. You don't even need the other pencils. We need to figure out how to make our drawings awesome. Okay, so we have our chin here. There's all sorts of shapes. You can make this real angular jawline if you want to. You should make them match. Mine are not matching right now. So just erase, you know. That's why they invented erasers, so you could change your mind. Now, one thing I have noticed, because I film straight down on a table, a lot of times my proportions are wonky because it's really important to hold your paper up and look at it objectively every once in a while. Or take a picture and look at your drawing in your viewfinder of your phone or like on your screen, because that will show you, you know, give you perspective. By the way, holla, check out my new phone case. Teespring, baby. My God, how fun is that? I did this a few weeks ago on YouTube. And she makes a very sexy phone case. Although it's like a little slippery. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little slippery. But I feel very fashionable with my new phone case. Those are on sale in my Teespring account. So fun. Okay, back to our girls. All right, so we're gonna do 3 eyes across. You guys, 3 eyes. 1, 2, 3, count with me. Do not want to see your eyes so close together. We can do this. All right. They're about the same size. If you need to measure because you can't, you know, get it straight, then pick up something in your environment and measure. Preferably a ruler, but I'm too lazy to get a ruler, so then eyeball it. All right. Remember, a realistic face is 5 across. More whimsical face is 3. This is somewhere in between. There's because I still have space on either side. The choice is yours. All right, I'm gonna start forming out her eyes right away because we know that this is her nose and this is going to be her mouth. All right, let's get going on those eyes. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is I drop, all right, well, first of all, let's drop a line here because I wanna maintain that space in the center. That's very important. So do not permeate your eye parts of this side and this side into this space. Okay, that's reserved for the nose. Don't go in there, you guys. Stay out of the nose space, please. Okay, so this is going to be the top portion of the eye, and this is the lower portion, right? We can do this. It's not rocket science. Okay, so we are going, but we need to drop down this diagonal, so that's fine. We have this as the top. We're going to come down to a diagonal. I'm going to back it up because see, I want to go into this space, but that's the nose space, you guys, so I got to back it up. And then we're going to make this the little tear duct and see how it's right before the line. Respect the barrier. Okay. Now we're going to do this on the other side. Okay, and let's have it. I'm going to give you guys a good cheat for making the same eye on both sides. So it is time. Giving you all my tips and all my tricks in these videos. Okay, so we have our little tear ducty thing. I'll just do one side and I'm going to show you how to recreate it on the other. So we're going to do this, and then this goes up, and then over. This is going to come up and down. Maybe she has kind of bigger eyes. I don't know. And now you're like, oh my god, I can't make it match on the other side. Okay, so first we're going to draw our like pupil, right? And we need to make sure that we're cutting off part of the iris. So I know that it's right because I chopped the iris off. All right, so now I'm freaking out because I want to make them match. So watch. Well, before I show you the cheat, I also, and it's not a cheat, it's fine to use tools to help you succeed. But also, like, practice. If you can't get them right, just practice more. You eventually will get it right. Just practice. That's, you know, it's how it is for everything. So, but say I want to make this same eye over across from it. I'm going to use some tracing paper. All right, and I'm going to trace it. Then I'm going to, this is a piece of transfer paper. Okay, and I'm going to put it over, I'm going to line it up with my little nose barrier. I'm going to put it over here, line it up. Okay, and then I'm going to trace the same shape. Dun, 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 and there you have it, more or less. It looks like it's a little too high. I'm gonna have to kind of go in the middle somewhere like there. But you can, what you really should do is line it up here and then weasel your little piece of transfer paper under it and then transfer it that way. So there you go. That is a good way to help you make sure your eyes are matching. Although I'm not sure it really helps because I don't feel like my girl is even matching anyways. So the best idea is to just practice more. You will get better. Like my t-shirt says, you cannot get worse with more practice. It's just not a thing. And thank you, Terry, for helping me design my t-shirts with that quote on it. I stand by it. I do, and I'm going to insist that you guys practice, which is why we're doing this challenge. All right, so we have our eyes. I'm going to shut up now, and we are moving on with our lives. Okay, now we can do like some eyelids. And again, you can do big ones or small ones. We've already talked about our options when it comes to eyelids. You guys know my feelings and my love for the elusive eyelid. There's also going to be a little line here and a little line here, because we have these tear ducty thingies. If this is a more realistic face, we can also add a secondary line below this, like that, and on either side. Ideally, they should match. I'm not doing the best job on that today. I have a hard time teaching and drawing sometimes at the same time. I'm a little bit more successful when I have music on and I'm kind of in the zone. It's hard to get in the zone when you're like chatty Cathy everywhere. All right. All right, let's do some eyebrows while we are in the eyeball neighborhood. Before I do that, I guess I'll just kidding about the eyebrows. I'm gonna just circle in some pupils. All right, no pupils, guys. I've seen some really cool pupil effects, but let's not get creative with the pupils until after we have the part of them that's right, kind of set up and established, and then you can have fun with the pupils. So make sure they are centered in your irises, which is the bigger circular part, and we don't do anything weird yet. Remember, eyes are the windows to the soul, so you don't want to mess with the pupil because that's like the epicenter of your soul. So go easy on that part. All right, so we're going to take this nose barrier that we have created and we are going to go penetrate a little bit onto the inside because we need some eyebrows rocking. And I just pick a random space above the eyes. Some people have eyebrows that are very close to the eyelids. Some are way up in the air. So you can actually use your artistic license to get kind of creative there. And I'm just doing some scribble scrabbles. I like these kind of fashiony art eyebrows that kind of like curve. They're just fun for me to do. Same thing over here. They're kind of like furry caterpillars. I'm all right with that. You can always draw like just a straight line if you want to give yourself a guideline and then start filling in your furry caterpillars. It's really all they are is furry caterpillars. Don't deny it. You see it too. And this can have different shapes. They can be more streamlined like this. It's also like, grab a reference. I actually, just between you and me guys, I messaged Pippa McManus this morning on Facebook to see if we could have permission to use one of her fashion faces as a reference. So I would love to do that real time with you guys. So stay tuned. Usually people are pretty, you know, accepting and are kind of like that. Some people don't, but people get a little grumpy, but I asked her, so we'll see. Last week's Pinterest reference, by the way, I could not track down the artist whose work we used as a reference. It was not on there, so apologies. I would give credit if I knew who did it, but be careful when you're uploading your own work to Pinterest that you make sure it's connected to your website so people can't rip it off. All right. So we can get rid of that guideline. All right, let's go down to the nose. All right, so we have our nose. So I have the ball of the nose, so I'm going to trace under it and over it. Okay. And then we're gonna make those parentheses on either side, so we can go zoop and zoop. The nose is cool. It's easy to overthink a nose, but the nose is really all made from shadows and shading and not any more lines than this right here. So I know it can be tricky for a lot of people. All right, we're gonna leave our kind of lip dip area alone. That's gonna be shaded as well. And then, let's see, we're gonna do our upper lip. We're going to start with a V in the top and zoop. And there's all sorts of fun lip shapes. You can get really like dramatic or not. It's totally up to you. This is kind of a boring standard one, but I usually start like this is flat, this is round, this is round. Boop, boop. See, round, round, flat. And then you just connect your lines. If you want her to be serious, you make sure there are nothing is upturned. If you want her to have any sort of expression that's of happiness, you would just make those go up instead of down. This one's gonna be like, she's gonna be grumpy because it's been raining for 3 days. And oh my God, you guys, the fires in California are like the scariest things going on right there. So I'm not really in the mood to be super duper cheery pants today. There's a lot not good going on in the world right now. So out of deference to those tragedies, I'm gonna keep it a little more chill today. All right, so we can get rid of some of these lines. Oh, stupid phone. All right, get some of those lines. All right, we are moving right along. All right, so hair. All right, you know about me. I've tried you guys so much to help with the hair. I have 5 hair videos on YouTube, just on hair. So if you need help, you can refer to some of those. But today, just follow along with me. First, we need to pick a part. I'm going to do a middle part today. The hair has to come into the oval, and it has to also have volume up and over the oval. Okay, so boop. So we're gonna go to the side. Should we do ears? I'll do ears because people are crazy and overthink ears also. Overall, I think there's a lot of excess stress with the drawings. You guys, we need to relax. It's all good, I promise. I'm starting just above the eye. One full Monty ear today. And you make like an ear, you know, shape. The eyes. And there's so many variations of what ears can look like. It's kind of crazy, actually. We're just going with your basic Joe Schmo ear. I guess there'll be some hair here. And then, again, it's going down into the circle and up and over. I'm just making this up. So there we go. If it's too much, you can always kind of kick it down. If you think it looks weird, then change it. Just erase. Make sure you have a good eraser. Someone asked what eraser I use. I use the heck is this called? I think it's called, oh, the Vanish eraser. I love it. It's really soft. So, I don't know. You can just play with the hair volume as you see fit. This poor girl needs a neck, like stat. I like to kind of make thinner necks. So, I usually, like that bend in the jaw, that first mouth, that line, horizontal line is where I like to come out of, or about in there. Okay, and then we're just gonna have a straight lollipop neck. I can't wait to start turning faces. We will start doing that after Thanksgiving. It's just so pretty. All right, and this can come down more. Maybe she's like a widow's peak. It's all good, whatever you want. Okay, so, all right, we are ready to move on to the fun shading part of this. So we are going to graduate away from our regular school pencil, and we are gonna go, I'm not even using my light one. I didn't even mean to do that. All right, so this is a 6B. You can use a 4B. You can just push down really hard with our school pencil and it will have similar effects. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go over, well first I'm gonna erase my extraneous lines, and then we're gonna go over the features, and then we're gonna add some shading, and then we're gonna be done, and we're gonna celebrate the fact that we rock All right, guys. All right, in that order, let's do it. First, we need to, excuse me, outline the eyes. I'm gonna outline the eyes starting with the eyebrows. So I'm just gonna add some pressure to my pencil and push down. Now notice when I make my eyebrows, I'm starting from the place where they grow out of the skin. Now I'm gonna outline the eyes. Coming up and over. And I'm gonna also go back over my first line. I'm also going to outline my iris and as well as the pupil. Now, what's cool about having that second little, excuse me, lash line is that the eyelashes actually stem out of there, but we're gonna put those on last. So we're gonna keep on just outlining up to the things that we've done. Pupil. Now, her eyes are not symmetrical. I'm looking at them. But guess what? I'm moving on with my life. Stop nitpicking your little things and just move on. People's eyes are not perfectly symmetrical. I know my eyebrows are like really different shapes. One goes up, one stays down. Just chalk it up to like nature and then release yourself to go on to the next step. There's too much nitpicking. There's also a lot of like self-negativity around these posts that I'm getting in my Facebook group. I hate her, but I'm posting it anyways. Like, you don't have to post if you don't like it, you don't have to post them, you know? But also remember that you're gonna grow so much and your skills are gonna get better so fast as you make these. So don't worry about all this, you know, we're not judging you, we're supporting you. So I just want to make that clear. Like, we're all on the same team, you guys. And this is a game and an exercise. This is not like there's no winner other than like a fun winner by chance, right? There's no actual like drawing award at the end of this, except for your skills are going to be the bomb. All right, I'm skipping over to the ear because we don't have anything in here. So there should be kind of some like hair technically here, but blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, ear, let's just make like the inner fold. We're making like the same line as this one inside, just inside. I don't know the names of any parts of the ear. So the outer lippy part. And then I'm just gonna, it just kind of like fades out here. And then I just want you to draw like another like circular line kind of here. And then the rest we're gonna do with shading. Same thing on this side. I'm gonna outline the ear to kind of define it a little bit, outline the face a little bit so it's darker. I also just realized her chin is like a little wonk-tastic. So I can just do my best to fix it. I can even come in. Oh, now it's like so popsicle-y. Don't worry about the neck. All right. Ear. Again, we're going to do like an inner portion. And then there's like, I don't know. I just always think of it as like 1, 2, 3. Like 1, 2, and then 3 lines here, and 1, 2, 3, and like that's it. All right. Oh, she looks so cute so far. All right, so let's go ahead and add some shading. And it's really easy to do once you have your, I'm just going over the hair one more time just to like get smart. All right, so here's a little cheat. If you need A dirty blending stick works better than a clean one. So see how dirty that is? That's good. But if you want it to be dirtier, say you have like, you're starting from scratch, you're not gonna get any blending. A clean one is no good to you. So take your darker pencil and put down some graphite and then get it dirty. Your blending stick. You can also use a Q-tip, you can use your finger. Okay, so we're gonna add some shading and we're gonna bring her to life with some dimension. So let's go, we're gonna go like around her face first and then we're gonna like close in on it slowly. Okay, so the first thing we wanna do is, and this is also why I chose this paper because it's a little bit rough, so it's easier to shade if your paper is a little bit rough. But like regular traditional sketching paper, it has a little bit of a tooth, so that's fine. All right, first here I'll do this, the little hairline. Okay, so what happens is we'll do the lighting source this way. If you want the shading guide, so for other lighting alternatives, again, you can see the link for it in the description box, but we're going straight on again, just because it's symmetrical. All right, so then what happens is, as the face curves away, where's my foam head? Come here, girlfriend. As my face curves away, so this is going away, this part is more in shadow than the parts that stick out, right? Like this sticks out, this sticks out. Those are gonna be highlighted. Her lippies stick out, the cheeks stick out, but like this, that goes away farther from your viewer. See, you wonder why I have foam heads around, now you know. Is going to be in shadow. So you can take it, notice I'm taking the side of my, blending stump. And I'm just lightly running it down the sides of her face. Okay. Now you don't want to give her a beard, so go easy around this part. Okay, and I told her we were gonna like come in slowly. Okay, so that's kind of go around her face. Now let's go around the eyes. This is sunk back. We're gonna add the highlights last, so don't worry about that. So I'm gonna take this and I see how soft that pencil is. It actually blended it straight out of my paper. So we have to put it back in. But I'm going to take this. Okay, and this is where the nose bridge starts to form. See that dark line? This is what makes our nose bridge form from thin air, is by dragging this graphite towards the nose area. Okay. So there, all of a sudden, where there was nothing, is now you have a nose. Fun, 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 fun. Right? There's the bridge of the nose. But this is still flat. So how do we create a circle out of, or a sphere, or a bulb edge while there's nothing on our paper? Well, we need to, again, shading is what makes that. So I'm going to take again the side of my dirty blending stump, and if it's not blending enough, I'm going to pick it up from my spot of graphite yuckiness. All right, now I want the ball of the nose to not have any, what's it called on it? Graphite on it. So I'm going to take my 10-inch and I'm going to like highlight. It's so light, like I can't even make a mark. So this part I want to stay white. So I'm going to like put a little light circle there. And you can actually like put shading all around it. And just keep, and I've seen really cute artist interpretations. There's so many cool ways to do noses. You can actually make this dark. I've seen people do between the nose dark, but the ball and the tip of the nose should always stay unshaded to, and you can put the highlight, you can cover it up and take an eraser and erase out that highlight also. And there's some really cute, like I said, artist interpretations. Some people do a little Q like that, just like on one side. There's so many ways that you can do that. So experiment, look at what other people are doing. If you find a nose, take a picture of it, take a screenshot and save it so that you can, when you go to do your own faces, you can, you know, use the same technique. So we already know that this is shaded, and usually under the nose is shaded as well. And especially in here. And then there's variances. There's variances that you can do, like, sorry, this thing's driving me crazy. You can like have portions of this that are just like this part, maybe on one side is darker. There's so much you have to play around with, and that's why drawing 100 faces is so key, because with every face that you draw, you can change one little thing, and then you've changed their whole everything. It's so fascinating, and that's why I can't stop making faces. Because watching these girls evolve into their different personalities is just endlessly fascinating for me. All right, so you can leave this little highlight right here too. If this is like, there's a highlight that can touch the brow bone, you can leave it. If you make it go away, just take your eraser and carve out a highlight. Okay, but I want you guys to be brave with your shading. It's just pencil, right? It's not like fire. There's no danger. It's just fun and experimenting, and take a quiet minute and see what happens. Like, make these really dark and see if, you know, just play and have fun and experiment. Okay, so then this line is, look how sad and exaggerated that is, and that's kind of sharp and crisp, and that's more what we want. So I'm going to erase this because it's too wonky. Trying to put I can't really not be wonky there. It's so strange. Weird. Yeah. Okay. So we haven't touched the lips, but look how three-dimensional the nose is, right? And that's just a little bit of shading. We got this, guys. We got it. So this is, I like this. Looks a little bit more natural rather than this. So what you can do too is, like, if I'm erasing that out and it's too harsh, then you just go back with your blending stump and like blend the edges a little bit. You can go back, you can subtract and add and subtract and add and keep going all day long. All right, so her mouth, let's work on that a little bit. Let's grab our dark pencil again. Zoom way in. So the middle crease line is always going to be the darkest, always. It's like jet black in there. And then there's always these like many, to me, the lips are made up of many, many lines, really. So you can start by making these lines, and this reminds me of the eyelashes that we went over last week, where they're when you get to the center, the lines are straight down, and then just like these are just like eyelashes. When you get to the side, they start curving the same way that the eyelashes work, which we're going to do again in a minute. So you have these lines that curve, and then we get to the middle, they start curving in the other direction because the lips are curved. So what happens is it's all spidery right now. Spidey, spider, spider. And then when you take your blending stump, and if that one is too big, you can buy a pack of blending stumps, and look at this little skinny one. You can just take these lines and blend them. This one is like too skinny. And if you blend across, if it's too spider webby, you blend across them, and that will eliminate them all together. But it is okay if some remain because the lips do have this natural lineage, if you will, that's in them. Oh, and we haven't even talked about the shading for the chin. Skip a little bit, and then we're gonna take our dirty blending stump and ignore my phone. And this part is going to, oh stop, this part is going to be very dark, and then it's sort of like the nose again, where the ball of the chin needs to stay white, and it can get kind of shaded everywhere else, and it just kind of fades as you go further away from it. And again, there's some really cute illustrators who make these white areas, they'll highlight them, some kind of like doodle, they'll actually draw the circle that stays highlighted. There's some really fun, again, artistic things that you can do. So this is kind of the darkest, and this is going to be darker too. The bottom of the bottom lip is really dark, and also like the bottom of the top lip is really dark, because that's whatever's in shadow is the darkest. And then we need a highlight for the lip. So I can take my eraser. If it was really good, I would get like a little tiny eraser, which I have, but I'm just too lazy. And you can erase out some highlights. And they usually tend to sit on the bottom lip. But you can have some at the top too. And for added emphasis, if you want to have those, sometimes those lip like creases, I put back in if I've erased too much of them. And if you've done a really good job blending, you shouldn't even have a line. Like, you shouldn't be able to see a line at the top and the bottom of the lips, because there isn't a line there. It's just a change in the pigmentation. So if you're really good and you're really into realism, you can make sure that you don't see any of those real defined lines. But now we have a little bit of texture going. We have the shading in the right places. The ears we can shade. So inside, like this lip will be really dark. Now if there's hair, it, you know, kind of the whole ear will be shaded, but really right there, the most, where these lips meet. And by lip, I mean like where this little outer part, this right here will be the darkest. And you just kind of like throw some shading on it so it looks three-dimensional. She totally needs some eyelashes. We can do a little bit more shading for her eyes as well. So let's do her eyes next. We're gonna zoom in here. I'm gonna go back to my 6/8. I'm gonna make sure it's really sharpened. It matters quite a bit at this point if your pencils are sharpened. So again, you can go over anything, you know, many times. You can even go to like you know, like a 9B and make that really, really bold and really dark. The way I make eye color appear, her pupil is not quite even, is you can actually just do, well, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. The easiest and fastest way is to just take your blending stump and drag the graphite out and around it. You can also, though, go back in with any of your pencils. You can decide, and if you want to like you know, make spokes of the wheel, I like to say. For the eyes, you can just draw the spokes out there. Now the pupil's the darkest part, so that really should be the darkest as you can get with your pencil. I'm trying to make this part really dark. Okay. Boo, boo, boo. And I left that shine in there just by not coloring it in the first place. You can always carve out a little with an eraser, or you can, you know, put white gel marker there. You can do whatever you want, but they should kind of match on either side. And I'm gonna draw back in her eyelid because I kind of erased it. So again, you have the push and pull, and you know, it's funny, like no matter what medium you're using, you could paint or mixed media or watercolors or kind of whatever you do, layering, and that holds true for graphite too. Layering is how you usually need to get your results. It's you know, nothing is ever quite done on the first pass. It took me years to figure that out. I am like the world's most impatient human being, and so I used to get pissed that my pieces of work weren't done in like the first sitting. Or I would just be like, all right, that's good enough. I mean, I am the queen of good enough, and I do believe that's like a very, you know, good for the soul to be easily satisfied with your work. But on the same time, it's like, all right, come on, you can work a little bit harder on that. And so I had to really work on myself to not be so impetuous about all that stuff. All right, so she needs some freaking eyelashes quick. It's driving me nuts. So I'm gonna take my 6B, and for the top lashes, I am going to, again, I'm doing these flicking. I'm always gonna start at the eye line. And I'm kind of varying, like, you don't have to go all the way around if you don't want to. You can just do like some edgy ones. And then for the bottom lashes, I am gonna start in the kind of in the middle, this area. Sometimes I like to have like one really long one. I don't know. And remember the angles that we talked about last week. They change as they go around the eye. And you're supposed to have some that are short and some that are longer. Supposedly that's more realistic. Ooh, I went all sorts of eyelashy on her today. And then there also is, I'm gonna use my little blending stick. There is some shadow that falls across the top. This shadow is actually more important than you would think. It's what allows your drawing, if your pupils aren't so hot or your irises are too, throwing that shadow in is like super duper important. So yeah, so she looks great. Now I just need to I'm running out of time. This video is getting very long and I gotta pick up kids from school. So I'm gonna grab a super dark pencil if I can. I guess I can't. All right, so I'm gonna hold my pencil on the side like this. So I'm not holding it like this anymore. I'm gonna use it like this. I'm gonna use this whole edge because she needs some real dramatic shading under that chin. It's a really big shadow. Okay. Now I know it looks crazy, but what happens is we blend it out so it makes sense. And again, I'm using that same, I'm using my blending stump the same way that I just used my pencil, which is by using the side of my pencil. And what happens is that when you go to draw her hair, this will be dark, and this will become all shadow as well. So it reads correctly when you go to do that. Now, in the interest of time, I'm not going to do the full hair because I do not have time after this long video. If I even have anyone left with me at this point, I would be shocked, since the average viewer on YouTube is 6 minutes. Yep, 6 minutes. And this video is, let's just say, a hell of a lot longer than 6 minutes. So if you want to do a shortcut to hair, you can simply do a few of the lines and add some shading. This is Lazy Bones hair, but we know how to create it. I have so many hair tutorials already. Now I'm holding my pencil now like this because I want like natural kinky lines. Like I want them to fall in a certain crazy way, and I don't want to have super amazing control on them. So I am doing that on purpose. People get really hung up on hair, and also the highlights on hair. When it comes to highlighting hair, honestly, it's just artistic preference. There's no, like, you know, unless you're doing a super realistic drawing, that's when you're just gonna draw what you see, and the hair highlight shows up wherever your light source is coming from. So if it's a realistic drawing, that's the information you're using. If it's like an, you know, like a manga drawing, there's a very, very signature style that you can use for that when you have the swaths of the highlight going that way. I'm just trying to get like general shading done just to show that it's like a color, and then you can go back with your pencil, and like if you lose any of these lines, just put them back in by pushing down really hard on your pencil, or you can move up the scale to another pencil. You can have one hair that's like, you know, goes across all your hard work, and that's always shocking and difficult to do, but you can do it. And any lines that you've lost, you can feel free to go back to again and again and again, kind of as often and awesome as you like. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Fun Fab Faces challenge tutorial. I will have another one next week. I might actually go live on YouTube. My family's gonna be home for Thanksgiving. My 12-year-old likes to get involved, and I love it when he gets involved because he's a wicked sharp little kid, and he has all sorts of like really good ideas. And he knows how to like experiment with the software and do all sorts of things like that. So yeah. And then what happens is, oh, I think, or I might release it as a premiere, because I think then I can come and talk to you guys and we all watch it together. So yeah, I don't know, just keep your eyes peeled. I think I'm gonna kind of switch it up. I have that the giveaway coming as well for hanging in with me for the first whole month, so that is exciting. And I kind of can't wait to do that. And yeah, if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. I would love it for you to join my Facebook group and show off your mad skills in there. It's a very, very supportive community. Trust me, I make sure of that myself. I go live in there. I've been going live in there on Fridays to talk about what I will be doing for these videos, but I always kind of pop in at least once a week to say hey. And yeah, I can't wait for the giveaways. So if you want a really snazzy phone case, you can check out my Teespring merch. And yeah, if you want to check out, I have coupons for Teespring. I have coupons for all my art courses if you go over to KarenCampbellArtist.com too. So, but make sure you hashtag 100 Fun Fat Faces, because we are gonna kill this when it's over and become amazing, amazing artists. One drawing challenge prompt at a time. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe so you can find me again and we can do more and more lessons every week for 20 weeks.